So the Supernote platform got an update recently, update 3.17.29. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But before we get, well, hey Supernote, hey, I didn't know you knew where I lived. I literally just got here. It's good to see you though. We were just talking about you. I see you got an update, and they clearly have added a hammer to your toolbar for some reason. I don't know why you would need a gesture hammer, but you don't need to defend yourself against me. I love Supernote. I got one sitting right here. Yeah, so we're good to go, man. Best pen in the market. We're good to go. So we don't need that. Yeah, have a good day, man. We're just gonna continue talking. You know, I won't even mention how terrible the gesture. I should call you super mean. How's it going, everyone? Roger here, Rant about Tech. And if you're new here, welcome. If not new, you know what to do. So this video is going to be about the update that just happened, but to a larger extent, it's about a video I saw by Ed over at Organize for Change, where he talked about using the calendar here as a homepage or a landing page, or the place that you start all of your Supernote documenting from. And I thought that was a super interesting concept, and I couldn't get it out of my head when I saw the video, because I thought, how cool would it be to have all of your stuff where you can get access to it. You can create notes here, you can see your notes here, you can get at your notes here, you can see your calendar here, you can do a to-do list from this particular, not from the calendar, but it works with the calendar in conjunction with the calendar. I think it's a part of the calendar in some ways. But there's a problem with that, which I will talk about later in the video. But I thought that was a super interesting idea, and if you're interested in seeing the full length of that, the full birth of that idea, I would go to Organize for Change and find that video there. I'll link it in the description as well, but it's a great video, and the channel is awesome. If you want to get down and drill down into some of the finer details of the Supernote platform, that is the place to go. This guy does it all over there, and he's a Supernote fanatic, so you're going to get the best of what that particular platform has to offer. Yeah, so check it out if you're interested in that, but that's where I got the idea for this video from, and to kind of incorporate it into the update process. But he was talking about the to-do list, which wasn't out yet. It was a beta option that he was working with earlier before it released to everyone else. But now that the beta's been released into a full-blown update, and all of those tools are in here now, I've been able to work with the to-do list and put it through its paces and see how it can work for me and my workflow, and just see if I can use the calendar as a home page essentially. And you know, I'm still working on that aspect of it, but I thought I'd bring some of my findings about that and about the update as a whole into a video. So, all right, so the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that they have added a to-do list to the Supernote platform. And there's a couple ways you can access this to-do list. You can access the to-do list straight from the quick access menu right here, and you can just click on that to-do menu here. And you can get access to that where you can see up top we have an inbox, and we'll talk about how that inbox gets populated here in a second. We have a planned list here as well, and that's all of your to-dos that were set for specific dates. We have your all, which shows all of your to-dos, whether they're in the inbox, whether they're planned, or in a list. Also, we have completed, so it shows all of your completed to-dos. The next section is all of your lists. So these are going to be all of the lists that you've created. And you can create a list by going down to the bottom here and selecting new list right here. So when you do that, you can go ahead and name your list. You can also use handwriting to name the list, and then hit the create button. All right. So here we have our list that we just created. So another way to reach this to-do list would be to just go from a note. So we can go to our notes, and you can just simply use the lasso tool to circle your note, And after you circle the note, you're giving all the options you can do with that particular note, which I love. It's one of my favorite features about this particular platform. And you can hit the calendar option here. And when you hit the calendar option, you have two options. You can add that to your calendar as an event, or you can add it to your to-do list. So we're going to add it to this icon here with the check box right here. And that's going to recognize it as text, and it's going to put it in our to-do list. Now that it's there, we've created a new task, and we can also give it a due date. So let's give it a due date of the 12th. That's fine, and we'll confirm that. And we'll add it. So it's added to to-dos, and you can see that up top there. Now, that's one way to add the things to your to-dos. Now, when we add it that way, it's going to populate the inbox. So let's go ahead and go back to the to-do list. And we should see that the inbox has a new to-do right there. So that's the to-do app basically in a nutshell. It's not much more complicated than that. It's a very useful tool, very simple tool. It's a very good way to get some things in a to-do list, which I've been trying to find a good way to do to-do lists. And I've been trying to find templates that could do that. But yeah, so this is a way to handle that without a template that's going to handle it a lot better than a template. And, you know, it allows you to scratch these things or basically check these things off. It's beautiful, and I love the way that it works. Now, there are some things I don't like about the to-do list, so let's go ahead and talk about those right now. So the first thing I want to call out when it comes to the to-do list is the fact that you can't back out of it. Once you're here, there is no back arrow. There is no way to get back to the app that you came from or the app you were previously in. It's just the app. And to get back to any situation that you were from before, you have to do it through the quick access menu, which is not a problem. The quick access menu is an awesome tool and it works very well. But the omission of a simple back button just to get you back to the note you were in or get you back to the calendar or something would have been super helpful. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that created to-dos can't be modified after they've been created. So the only criteria we have now for to-dos are dates. And I don't think that would have been too hard to add as an option for modification. So if you long select one of the to-dos, you get the option to move it to a different list. You get the option to delete it altogether, or you can select all. You don't get any of the option to manipulate the to-dos other than that. So I think that was a huge oversight that can be rectified in an update, but something I think is sorely missing. The next thing I want to call out kind of falls in conjunction with the fact that you can't modify the to-dos after creation is the fact that you can't add any criteria other than date. Time would have been nice, but then I guess times would have required you to have some kind of alert or notification that it's happening at a certain time. And that would kind of take away from the distraction-free functionality of this particular device. But if you're going to have to-dos and have modified dates, you may as well have times and you may as well have notifications as well. All right, so let's talk about some other aspects of the update that I thought was super interesting. All right, so one of the other things I found in the update that I thought was super interesting and useful to me is the handwriting recognition wait timer. All right, so how this works is when you're given a text box like this, you're also given a handwriting box down below that you can go ahead and write something in and it'll convert it to text. So as you can see, from the time I lifted my pen to the time it actually started converting the text, there was a little bit of a lag there. And with this particular feature, you can increase that time in between you lifting a pen and it starting to convert to give you more time to write stuff, or you can shorten that time to give you immediate handwriting recognition. And this is how you get there. You go to your settings, and from the settings, you go to your display input, and from display input, you go to your keyboard because this is a keyboard function, and you go to handwriting, and wait and recognition wait time is set to normal, but you can lengthen or shorten that time depending on what your particular need is based off how I just explained it. All right, so the next thing I thought was super interesting in the update was a fix that they brought out. This fix applies to a problem I think I've been having with the marker. So when I write, your marker looks like this. Sometimes though, when I write, for no reason at all, the marker will look like that, like the erase line. And I'm just like, why is that happening? And it won't fix itself until I back out of the note or refresh or do something that kind of jostles the system a little bit, and then I can start writing with a regular marker again. Now, I thought this was fixing that, but it happens to me still, maybe to a lesser extent than what it used to happen, but it happens still nonetheless. All right, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is the 2 new screensavers that they added. Let's go ahead and check those out. So if you go to settings and you go to display and input here, you will get screensaver. And here you'll see 3 distinct screensavers. And you can customize the screensavers with more, which basically lets you add your imported screensavers to that list. But you know what you don't see here, which I thought is what they were saying when I saw we added screensavers in the release notes. Just take a guess as to what I thought that screensaver was going to be. You guessed it, transparency mode. I thought they were giving us what I've been praying for, what I've been asking for in almost every video. Like, Ratta, if you're making a device in 2024, note, it should have transparency mode. eInk devices are the only devices that can even do that. Why are you not taking advantage of one of the best advantages you have in this space? Why? Like, they're like, oh, we could show you your notes. We could show you useful information, right? Let's just look at this. We could show you useful information. Like, if you wanted to see this with it off and turn it off, we could show that to you. But no, we'd rather show you a Jeep with a guy leaning on it. Oh, that's magic. That's productivity right there. You can do something with that. It's inspiration, right? Because you're drawing. That's what you're using this for, right? No, I'm not. I'm not drawing on this at all. It's a notepad. It's a paper replacement for note taking. You know what would be super useful to me as a screensaver? This. My information. My document. My note. That's what would be super useful to me. Not a guy leaning on a Jeep. You don't know how mad I was when I saw that. Because it was like Christmas when I saw the update and I thought, screensaver, they must have heard my cries. They didn't hear them. If they did hear them, they were like, oh, we're gonna do this to spite him. He's gonna love this. No, I'm not. Just give it to us, Ratta. Just give us transparency mode on the Supernote platform. Just do it already. Okay, that's gonna be it for me. Go ahead and like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and Ratta, you do it. You do it. Take care.